What if I told you that some of the school items you used or saw every day are now extinct? That's right. Some of the things that were once essential for your education are now obsolete, outdated, or replaced by newer technology. And you might not even realize it. In today's video, I'm going to reveal 15 school items that do not stand the test of time. You won't believe what's on this list. Hello folks, and welcome to American Vintage Tales, where we explore the history and nostalgia of everyday objects. If you're new here, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell icon to get notified of our latest videos. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you for your support. Now let's get started with the first item on our list, and trust me, you don't want to miss this one. Do you see this hole in the old school desk? Do you know what it was for? It was not for storing your pencils or your gum. It was for something much more important. Something that was essential for your education. Something that you probably never used in your life. It was for inkwells. Inkwells were small containers or pots designed to hold ink in a stable position, making it easier for students to dip their fountain pens into the ink while writing. This feature was common in school desks from the late 19th to early 20th centuries, before the advent of ballpoint pens made fountain pens and inkwells obsolete in educational settings. Can you imagine writing with a fountain pen and an inkwell? How messy and inconvenient that must have been, and how easy it is for us to write with a simple click of a button. But that's not the only school item that has become extinct. There are many more, and some of them might surprise you. Let's take a look at another one. What is this thing? It looks like a belt, but it's not for your pants, it's for your books. Yes, this is a book strap, once a symbol of studiousness and diligence. It reminds us of a time when carrying your books was a physical part of learning, a time when you had to balance your books on your shoulder or tie them together with a strap or use a basket or a satchel, a time when backpacks were not invented yet or were too expensive or too bulky. A time when books were heavier, thicker, and more precious, a time when you had to take good care of your books or face the consequences. But now, with backpacks, ebooks, and online resources, book straps have faded away. They are no longer needed or wanted or remembered. They are just a relic of the past. But there is one more school item that has become history, and this one might make you nostalgic, or maybe not. Let's see what it is. Pull-down maps were large, retractable maps that hung on classroom walls and served as educational tools for geography, history, and social studies. They were popular from the late 19th century to the mid-20th century, when they were gradually replaced by more modern and interactive methods, such as globes, atlases, and digital maps. Pull-down maps had some advantages, such as being easy to use, durable, and space-saving. Paper bag book covers were a creative solution for protecting textbooks from wear and tear. They were made from simple brown paper bags, usually from grocery stores, that were cut, folded, and taped to fit snugly around the book covers. They were a common sight in American schools from the 1960s to the 1990s, when textbooks were expensive and often reused by different students. Paper bag book covers had some benefits, such as being cheap, easy to make, and eco-friendly, but they also had some fun aspects, such as being a canvas for doodles, dreams, and personal expressions. Paper bag book covers are now a sweet reminder of a time when recycling was both a necessity and an art, and when books were cherished and protected. Do you remember the days when we used to rely on encyclopedias for research? Those thick volumes of knowledge that covered everything from A to Z. They were the ultimate source of information for students, teachers, and curious minds. But they also had some limitations. They were expensive, heavy, and quickly outdated. And if you wanted to learn about a different culture or language, you had to find a foreign language edition of the Encyclopedia, which was not always easy to get. But then, the internet came along and changed everything. Suddenly, we had access to a vast amount of information at our fingertips. Internet was not the only thing that changed. The way we used libraries also changed. Remember when we had to use the card catalog and the Dewey Decimal System to find a book in the library? It was like a treasure hunt where we had to look for clues and follow the numbers, and when we checked out a book, we had to fill out a little card that showed who read the book before us. It was a way of connecting with other readers and seeing what they liked. But now finding a book in the library is much easier. We just have to type the title or the author on a computer, and it will tell us where the book is located. And what about the classroom? How has technology changed the way we learn there? Well, one of the most obvious changes is the replacement of chalkboards with whiteboards and digital screens. Chalkboards had their own charm, with their dusty surface and the sound of chalk against the board. They were also easy to use and erase, but they also had some drawbacks. They were messy, hard to read, and limited in space. Whiteboards and digital screens, on the other hand, are cleaner, clearer, and more versatile. Technology has made the classroom more dynamic and engaging, but also more dependent on electricity and devices. And let's talk about writing. How has technology changed the way we write? Well, one of the most noticeable changes is the decline of cursive writing. Cursive writing, once a rite of passage, is now a rarity, except for signing our names. Cursive writing was taught as a way of developing fine motor skills, improving handwriting, and expressing creativity, but it was also difficult to master and hard to read. Technology has made writing easier and faster, with keyboards, touchscreens, and voice recognition. Do you remember the spinning globe in classrooms that showed us the shape and location of different countries and continents? It was a fascinating way to explore the world and to imagine what life was like in other places. But it was also limited in detail and could not show us the changes that happened over time. And what about the tools we used in the classroom? How has technology changed them? Well, one of the most common tools we used was the pencil sharpener. Those wall-mounted pencil sharpeners, a staple next to the classroom door, were always busy as we sharpened our pencils to a fine point. They were simple, reliable, and satisfying, but they also had some drawbacks. They were noisy, wasteful, and sometimes broke our pencils. But now, most of us use electric pencil sharpeners or mechanical pencils that do the job for us. And how about the way we made copies of our work? Well, one of the most memorable devices we used was the Ditto machine with its distinctive purple ink. It was a manual and messy process that involved cranking a handle and smelling the fresh copies. It was a unique and nostalgic way to reproduce our work and to distribute it to others, but it was also slow, low quality, and toxic. And what about the way we received our grades and feedback? How has technology changed that? Well, one of the most personal and emotional aspects of learning was the handwritten grades and report cards that showed us how we performed and what we needed to improve. They were a direct and honest way to communicate our progress and to motivate us to do better. But they were also subjective, inconsistent, and sometimes unfair. But now many grades and report cards are digital and based on data, algorithms, and standards. Do you remember the days when we used to carry metal lunchboxes that showed off our favorite characters? They were a way to express our personality and make a statement. But now, they've been swapped for more practical, less flashy lunch bags that keep our food fresh and safe. Do you still have any of these items in your closet? If you do, take a picture and share it with me in the comments. I'd love to see them. Another thing that has changed a lot is how we did math. Before electronic calculators became widely available, we used a slide ruler, a popular device for doing calculations. It could perform various mathematical operations using logarithmic scales. It was a clever invention, but it was also bulky and hard to use. Can you imagine doing complex calculations with a slide ruler today? How long do you think it would take you? Let me know in the comments. Even the school bell, which marked the rhythm of our days, has gone digital. It used to be a loud and clear signal that told us when to start and end classes, when to have lunch, and when to go home. It's the end of an era for many things we grew up with, but each change brings new ways to learn and connect. We may feel nostalgic for the past, but we also have to embrace the present and the future. What do you think? Did this trip down memory lane bring back any memories? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this, don't forget to like and subscribe for more walks through the past.